Warning. This program contains strong language, auditory violence, and mental nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to your uncensored home for all things Warcraft. With your hosts, Berzerker and Navox. This is Unshackled Fury.
Once again, letting this Rage-a-Hall-powered war machine loose on the airwaves, we are back to continue talking Shadowlands, bad behavior, and all the rest. Welcome to episode 62 of the Unshackled Fury podcast, your uncensored home for all things Warcraft. I'm your host, Berzerker. I've got my Yeti at the ready, and with me, as always, is the Ford to my Ferrari. He is Navox. Welcome back again, sir.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Dude,
You
I
are
want to see that
Mr.
movie.
Fast and Furious.
Dude, I actually, the Ford versus Ferrari film, I am really interested in seeing. So I'm probably going to take a personal day off work and just, the wife and I will probably go check that out because that is something I'm definitely interested in.
Are you going to watch the girls video before you go in there and do some other like super Florida man stuff? Like take meth or something else before you go in there?
No, actually,
Bath salts?
Actually, I found out here's a fun trivia thing for that. Not Florida Man related, but with Christian Bale and Matt Damon. Not that anybody really cares that's listening at the moment, but they both have the same agent. I found out recently.
Oh.
And what's funny is that the two of them don't get to act in many movies together because it's always like whenever a role comes up, it's always given to Matt Damon first, and if Matt Damon doesn't want it,
Yeah.
Christian Bale gets it. So
Wow. Well, you know what's funny about that? You and I both have the same agent. Nobody.
Oh. That's right.
No, we have no agent. That's right. That's the joke. Listen, this is a free show. These are the jokes that you paid for.
That's right.
All right.
Listen to this babble. That's right.
So this week, Nav, you and I are continuing this string of incredible guests that we've been having on the show, and we're gonna wrap it up in style by having not just any person, but the most stylistic person, most stylish person, most talented person we probably ever had on this show, and that is our very own in-house artist, my raid team's cool aunt. I guess we're going to call this. And the founder of my raid team, nonetheless, we have with us today the one and only Copperbolt. Welcome to the show, Copper.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi. I am blushing. Holy smokes.
Well, it's about time we finally had you here as somebody who is really the genesis for a lot of the great times that I have had in recent years, bringing my buddy Rommel and I onto the raid team and getting up to BlizzCon shenanigans, and you're doing the art for our show, and you've been through all the bullshit we've been through on our raid team. It only seems fitting that at some point you got on this thing and I had you on and we could actually talk to you.
Yes. And I'm happy to represent the monks on your warrior podcast.
And
That
you
might
know
be
what?
a first. Actually, that might be a first.
I think that is.
I think it is.
We've had gnomes and warlocks and
We had-
other crazy
yeah.
stuff, but
Yeah.
no monks. All right. Well, welcome, and trust me, there's nothing to accidentally roll into around here, so you'll be fine.
That's a good thing. Whew, that's a real good thing.
So you're coming on at a time when we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on because we're still, 2 weeks, barely 2 weeks after BlizzCon, and it still feels like we're kind of figuring out where everything goes. And before we touch into Shadowlands and some of the other things that we're going to get to today, we usually talk about what all of us have been up to since the last show. And I know, Nav, you and I recently made an appearance on the Rolling Restart, which is Ro's other show other than Realm Maintenance, and we were on there talking about Shadowlands and all the goings on there. But people may not know that he has the Realm Maintenance show coming up on its 300th episode, and there's something very mysterious going on.
That's right. Yeah, nobody knows. Either.
Nobody
knows.
knows.
I'm sure,
We did, and maybe I'm telling tales out of Sunday school here, but we did try to pry out of him off the air what in the hell was going on.
Yeah.
And he didn't give a shit. So I don't know what he's up to over there, and we don't know, but something's up. He's definitely got something big going on.
And he was like, it's better to burn out than to fade away, too. So I was like, all right, what's in store? I have no idea. So
yeah, I don't know. So there's big changes afoot there, and then also the Dark Moon Herald, another show that we have been on. Friend of the show, Sal, has been a co-host on there for some time. She and Kevin are closing up shop because as of this morning, the Dark Moon Herald has ended.
That's right.
That's like an institution of podcasting.
It really is. And a big thank you to Kevin and Sal for keeping that podcast going for as long as you guys have. I mean, it was nice. It's always not. It's sad whenever a familiar podcast comes to an end. So it's. And I said it. I visited the show today, and I was like, you know what? Don't say goodbye. Just say so long for now, because you never know. Like people get that itch, and they come back. And you never know. So,
well, yeah. And as Copperwell knows, is that Sal, if Copper is the cool aunt of our raid team, Sal is the other cool aunt, and the two of them together had the Salad Senate baby. Like it's like they're the mothers of our team.
That's true.
That was the. I mean, honestly, Salad Senate has always been like one of the main raid teams in the Convert to Raid Guild. Like I remember back in like when I joined, it was Mists of Pandaria, and it was thriving then. And I mean, every other chat and guild chat was, hey, come raid with Salad Senate, come raid with Salad Senate. And it was like, wow, so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was before there was flexible raiding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was we need a healer. Somebody.
Well, now we're going to have later today kind of a broader conversation with you, since we have an opportunity here to really have, I think, a meaningful conversation about women and gaming, and particularly your perspective, which is quite different than ours for obvious reasons, but something I think that is needed to have a little bit more, your voice needs to be out there, I think, more than ours in these respects. So we're going to have a much broader conversation about some issues later. But for the moment, I just want to get folks kind of an idea of who you are and what you're about. And they know now that we're on the raid team together and all that kind of stuff. But for you, Copper, where did your Warcraft life begin? How did you come to the game, and what led you up to, I guess, the point where you're at today?
Okay, so I started in WoW in 2005. And previous to that, I know a lot of people will be like, I was playing EverQuest, or I was, in some other MMO. But I played MUDs. So text-based.
Wow.
There was no graphics.
There you go.
Right. And so when I got into World of Warcraft, I seriously was in a Best Buy, and they had like a display of a whole bunch of different MMOs. And I had played Warcraft back in the day. And it called to me, and I loaded it up, and I had no idea what the hell it was. I loaded it up, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a MUD with graphics. And I've been there since. I mean, I can pass the time of my World of Warcraft based on my kid, because she's,
Aww.
She was born November of 2005, and I can remember being very pregnant with a laptop, trying to balance logging into WoW for the first time. So yeah,
that's a hardcore player right there.
There you go. She has never in her life experienced a home without WoW in it.
Wow. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you played pretty much, I mean, that's looking at damn near the beginning at that point. You're a classic player.
Yep, I'm a classic player.
Now,
yeah,
what led
sure.
you eventually to getting into? Because we don't talk about it a lot on here, but we are, all of us here, part of the Convert to Raid Guild. Our raid team certainly is. How did you end up on CTR, and how did you end up starting the team that we've now been on for six years?
Yeah, almost 7.
God.
Almost 7.
Wow.
February 13th is the anniversary
Wow.
date. So, so I was in AIE, Horde side, and was listening to this cool podcast, CTR. And one day they said that they were moving. And I said, okay, I'm on board. And I paid Blizzard so much money.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yep.
transferred servers and transferred, factions. I mean, $55 a pop. And moved everybody over, basically. I think I moved 7 characters.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh, back in the times when I had money. So I moved. I mean, when they said that they were moving to Airy Peak, I said, I'm going. And I moved over. I had known Pat Crane in AIE just sort of a little bit. And I had, in my previous years of World of Warcraft, I had managed some guilds
Oh.
and things like that. So when I came over to Airy Peak, I sort of inserted myself into his circle. It was like, hey, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? I can help you. Let me, because it grew really super fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just became an officer, just helping with invitations and trying to help just in the early days, the management of everything. Yeah. And so, and I did that. Of course, life got in the way. I'm not an officer anymore, but I still enjoy the guild.
Yeah.
And everything kind of runs on its own now. I don't, there's
Yeah.
not a need for somebody to jump in there and do something.
Honestly, it really does at this point. It pretty much runs on its own, and the people and the greeters are what I mean. The greeters they're doing invites, but yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. When it first started, we didn't have greeters. We didn't.
No.
Yeah. So.
So now, how did you end up finding Sal and starting our team?
Okay, so some guy posted. So back in the day on the forums, some guy posted that he wanted to start a 25-man team, and his name was O'Doyle. Sal and I fondly referred to him as the Godfather, and so we showed up, and he didn't show up. It was like just a ghost in the wind, and we're like, we want to be on this 25-man team because I mean that's raiding to me is giant big group raiding, right?
Yeah.
And he just didn't show up. So Sal's like, well, so do you want to start a team? And I'm like, yeah, let's start a team. And of course everybody's doing the vegetable names, so that's where Salad Senate came from. And
All right.
and here we are.
I noticed that a lot of the original raid teams in CTR revolved around food names.
It was like. I think it started because of the asparagus initiative.
Yes.
Asparagus initiative, and then I mean, it just went a little bananas after that. Everybody had a raid name that had some sort of a vegetable in it.
Yeah.
And now
And we just decided to be a collection of vegetables with the Salad Senate.
we are definitely a collection of something.
That's true.
For sure. And here we are, almost 7 years later, having still survived, and we've collectively this team that we have, and and I don't take a lot of time to toot our own horn on this show, but I will say, between you and the rest of the leadership that we have had, it's cycled in and out over the years, but the group that we have had with that team has done an amazing job of keeping that team together, because I don't know anybody else that's kept a team together that long.
Yeah, I mean, I every time I go back and I think about it, I mean, this team is such a huge part of my life. I mean, it's been with me through some pretty heinous sicknesses, through divorce, through moving across the country, I've been with the team the whole time.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I mean, I feel like all good things will eventually come to an end, but I can't imagine it. I don't know.
We're still rocking and rolling somehow.
Yeah.
It keeps on going. And, and part of that, is not just that we're having fun and we're doing things as a team, but some of us have really gotten a chance to actually meet and come to know each other, which is kind of the beauty of this game in a much larger sense, is that there really is a sense of community. And this is the thing that I think I love the most, is that, like, you and I have actually met. We've been at BlizzCon. We have partied and we've done that all together at the Hilton and hanging out and being fucking hungover at the next day. And we've done all that stuff. And then later, when Nav and I go looking for, hey, we need some artwork, boom. There was one person we knew we had to call.
There I am. Yeah.
And there you are. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit too, since that has been out for a little bit. We have gotten nothing but rave reviews about the work that you've done for us. And I love splashing that everywhere. I've made up business cards. I've made up coasters. I've got t-shirts. I've made up all this stuff I can just throw out there and be like, watch our stuff. Listen to our stuff. Here it is. Check out this cool artwork. So
I was super excited when I saw you post something. You sent gift boxes to Blizzard for BlizzCon.
I did.
I'm like, oh my gosh, my art is at Blizzard. My art is at Blizzard.
That's right. That's right. We snuck it in. We got we sent down a little care package with some of my favorite cold brew coffee and some other little bits. But yes, we included a couple business cards and a coaster, and it's got your artwork on it. And
it's
so,
amazing.
oh man, I could not be happier to get that out. Like it's that thing where, like, this is our brand, and this is it feels kind of stupid to say this sometimes, but like every show has a brand. Everybody's got their thing, and I think that for us, searching for that identity, we kind of have an idea of what it is, but in a stylistic, artistic sense, I think we were still kind of trying to find that sweet spot. And man, you fucking nailed it.
Yeah,
you just nailed it. And you were so patient with us, because I'd like our listeners who probably don't know this story to hear a little bit about what the back and forth is like when you have an artist who is dealing with a client, and you do all of this amazing, beautifully detailed artwork for your client, and then your client comes back and says, actually, I needed something different.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There was some hours put into that painting, but in the end, I totally get it.
Oh, yeah.
But
And so I guess my thought is for folks that are looking to, let's say, work with you or work with another artist, and they're coming up with something, kind of walk them through what our experience was sort of like, if you don't mind. And then maybe from your perspective as an artist, what's a good way to approach someone, or ideas to have, or things that are helpful from an artist's perspective on how to come up with a really solid concept that gets you through all the way to the end?
So my process is a lot of drawing on paper. I don't necessarily, there's a lot of artists that will open up Photoshop and do digital art. I just open up a sketchbook. I think I've got about 20 pages in my sketchbook that are just helms now.
It's like Nav's dream.
So when you came to me and said, we want to kind of don't want to change our logo. We want to keep that sort of premise with the helm and the headphones. And that's super helpful to me, because I'm sitting here going, well, what can we do with rage and swords? And, so that's good. That's having that sort of destination in mind. You want this. But anyways, my thing is to sketch and come up with different ideas, and they're generally really rough until I hit on the real thing that everybody's happy with. And then I'll go and draw that 20 more times until I have exactly what I want.
And you're a graphic artist by trade, or what would you say your profession is?
I'm a graphic artist. I'm a graphic artist, graphic designer, really more. I work for a magazine and do design work.
So like I said, this is a real legit artist. This is not just some person we pulled off the street and was like, this is convenient. This is somebody who knows what they're doing. And I know that, and sorry to jump in here, but I know that we had this back and forth about this one particular art piece that if you go on Copper's Twitter, and your Twitter is...
it's Copper_SS, I think, or is it SS_Copper? Oh, see, I knew I was going to mess this up.
One of these two, you look it up. I'll keep talking. And she had done an amazing sort of artistic version of what we have, and I still maintain, and I agree that this is the superior piece. Go on her Twitter, find it in her photos, and check it out, because it really is a testament to her skill. So I say all of this as this process was amazing to go through, and the end products plural, because you did several different pieces of art for us that we could use as part of our Twitter, as part of our SoundCloud page. We used part of that to put together, or Nav did, to put together our Twitch page, all of that stuff. You did all of that. And it couldn't have been easier, could have been greater. So again, I said it before and I'll say it again. If you're listening to this show and you need some kind of art for a project that you're working on or something like that, please reach out to Copper. She is phenomenal, as you can see. So
yeah,
Thank you.
The post, I believe the post in question, the media on Twitter, if you go out to @SS_Copper, look at October 8. And I believe that was the original drawing that you had handed us and said, here you go. After I believe Zerker had given you the ideas, this is what you had come up with. And it honestly looks like it belongs on the front of like a novel or a book. Yeah. Like honestly, it looks like that. It has that look and feel to it. And then after that, it was we tore it apart from there.
You didn't tear it apart. I totally got it. I mean, it wasn't exactly what you were looking for.
No,
but...
and to give our listeners a little bit of like inside the helm of how that happens is, I looked at that. I'm like, oh man, I really, really dig this. But you know what's bothering me? That little front piece that comes right down from the top. It looks like a helm that I really don't like that we did in Cataclysm. And
boy,
that's the type of conversation that would go back. I'm like, I'm digging this, but I don't really like this. So, I was a pain in the ass with that. So I was like, I hope it's not going to, piss her off too much if we ask her to change this. And, it's like, but I'm sure a lot of artists go through that with their pain in the ass clients. So, I mean, that's, but it was.
That's totally normal. Yeah.
Keep it constructive. Right? I mean,
that's right.
You're all moving towards the same thing. So, yeah. So we're so thrilled with what you put together for us, and we're going to be using that for many years to come. And obviously, we're super happy to have you here today. And since you're here, why don't we rage?
How about a rage?
How about a rage topic? Let's go.
Let's rage.
So, this week, Nav, I was kind of thinking to myself, like, listen, it's been pretty good as of late, I think.
Yeah, it has been pretty good. Yep.
We've got Shadowlands and all these fun things and great stuff going on, and then out of the corner of my eye, what do I see? I see an individual that we've talked about on this show before doing something really stupid.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a look at this. And as it turns out, here's what happened. A couple of days ago, I see a message on Method's Twitter about some incident that had occurred involving an individual who goes by the name of Joker, who we have talked about on this show before as the person who got the world first 60 character in Classic.
Yeah.
We had talked about this person before. All great, wonderful. They, as you pointed out, Nav, they probably played on a private server for a bunch of years. They knew what to do. They knew how to do this, yada, yada, yada. They got the record. We kind of laughed because, haha, it wasn't somebody from Method. Well, then 2 weeks after he did it, Method signed him. Go figure. So they bring him on board, and they have him as a sponsored individual, which I don't know. I feel like everybody's a sponsored person by Method now. Credit to their team that they have such a wide reach. And they put out some statements saying that he had done something in a stream and that they were going to suspend him and all this. I'm like, my God, what did he do? Well, as it turns out, he was part of a stream where they were going through, I believe, a molten core clear. And with no hint of any remorse of any kind, he straight up ninja looted an item, dropped out of audio, bailed out the whole thing, and is completely unrepentant about the entire deal. And we even have people like Asmongold supporting him and saying, well, that's just part of Classic.
Right.
Yeah. So as now that I've got two people here that played in Classic, is this the quality of Classic gameplay that people should be bringing back? What do you think, Copper?
Oh my gosh, no. I read that story and I was just like, are you kidding me? He's so full of himself. And I'm like, he's like, oh, I'm a superstar. I'm taking your staff Dominus and I'm running away. And he had, I mean, it's so cool. Like, how many people wouldn't love to be supported by Method and streaming and doing something like that? And he just Leroy Jenkins his career, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to put that.
Pretty much that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand it.
How about you, Nav?
I mean, looking at this, I'm not surprised. It's I think what got me the most was I love the fact, I think he was raid leading that group. I think he was the raid leader. I think he put the raid together.
Master leader.
And then, I think for the most part, absolutely done for publicity. Everybody likes the shock factor whenever they're doing Twitch.
For his own stream?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, he did this for his own stream for publicity and it kind of backfired on him because Method dropped his ass, I believe. I think, they said, we were going to investigate this and then that was pretty much it. But the fact that he's like, oh, you think I care about my reputation on a fucking American server, blah blah blah, and then
oh my God,
Ninja loots it, and and he's just being an ass. And then you always have like
for the glory of his guild, apparently.
Yeah, for the glory of power
that he'll probably get kicked out of eventually anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And but yeah, I mean, it's definitely the type of behavior It's the type of behavior you don't condone. You don't want that. You don't want to condone it because you don't want that to propagate out there in the world. But unfortunately, we got a lot of people who watch these streams and they're just like, oh, this is okay to do, and well, Joker did it. Asmongold backed him, and blah 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 blah. It's all okay to do, But I don't know. These two asshats, they run amok constantly, and
yeah, I think the thing that really got to me about all of this is that when Classic came back in full, and we're going to touch on it a little bit later with just a quick update about the quarterly earnings for Activision Blizzard. Classic really brought back, at least it seemed, this great sense of community. People kept talking about how great it was that people were helping each other and they were buffing each other and they were doing all these runs and this and that. And this flies in the face of all of that. And the fact that you have, again, somebody who is, I think someone said it somewhere, the face of WoW on Twitch, not condemning this and saying, well, it's just part of the game. Yeah, there's a lot of shitty things that are part of the game and a part of life and all that other stuff, but that doesn't mean that you should promote it. That's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. You should not be promoting this in any way. This is a shitty thing to do. There were 39 other people, however many were actually eligible for that item, I don't know off the top of my head. But the people that were, they got dicked out of it. And the guy was a complete piece of shit about it. Like, it's one thing to be like, yeah, you know what? I got caught up in the heat of the moment and I did it, and yeah, I probably shouldn't have. Or it was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. Yeah, I did it. Come get me. Bite me. Nah. Like ultimate troll behavior. Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
I just laughed so hard when I read that he thought he was going to get promoted in his raid team because now he had more power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're an asshat.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
just an
I'm
asshat.
sure that raid team's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, we don't need to waste any more time talking about this. Let's just say at the end of the day, if you're in a raid group and you're with other people, don't ninja loot items. Yes, it may be part of the game and it may be something you can do, but don't do it. Don't be an asshole. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we go ahead and jump into our news? We're going to talk a little bit about Shadowlands. I hear that that's a thing. And a few other items before we get into a broader conversation with our guest about women in gaming. So let's go. Shadowlands. It's real. It's here. As we talked about the last time we were here on our live stream, which thanks for checking that out, folks. Really appreciate folks checking out the Twitch show. The one time we've done it. But I think I don't know, Copper, did you witness this event?
I was totally there.
You were totally
yeah,
there.
It was super fun.
That's right. Thank you for being there. As well as the other, according to Twitch stats, the other 18 people that checked it out. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. You know, we got to start somewhere. And we did. And so we talked a lot about sort of the first days going on, the big cinematic and how amazing that was, kind of some of the impressions that we got. Now, you and I, Nav, we have been on another show since then, on Rose's show, where we talked about Shadowlands and what's good and bad and I think unknown. But this is our show, so why don't we talk about some of that stuff? It may be a little old news at this point. We may be retreading some of the same ground that we've tread before, but we're going to do it on our
People
show.
like to listen to our show and they want to hear us, so we'll talk about it again. No worries.
I mean, you know, between my mom and Rommel and whoever the third person is that listens to the show.
My wife.
Your wife. That's right. I'm sure that they do. So let's talk a little bit about Shadowlands and just off kind of the top of our heads, what our favorite announcements were when it came to the next expansion coming for World of Warcraft. So I'll throw it first to our guests because, frankly, we've not heard from you. So I'm curious to know what somebody who I would consider to be a very knowledgeable, long-term player who's seen it all, done it all. What were the things that really struck you about the Shadowlands announcement as like, yes, this looks awesome, this looks amazing, and then perhaps maybe some things where we're like, I'm not so sure about that.
I can't think of anything I wasn't so sure about.
All right.
I was so excited when I watched it. I'm really excited for the tower.
Torghast.
Torghast. I'm so excited for that. I just think it's such a cool thing, and I know that we're going to play around with the visions, which are going to be single or in the next patch.
Yeah.
But I just think it's so cool to be able to go in and do something on your own if you need to, or if you have a couple of friends to go in there and do it, and you don't have to have everybody. You don't have to have 5 people. You don't have to be with people you don't know. It's cool. I really like it. And I am I'm actually really super excited for the level squish.
Yeah.
Yes,
So.
absolutely, yes.
I am a alcoholic, and I have several, and I have a lot. And I went and I'm trying to level a horde right now, because I don't have a max level horde, and I kind of want to hear the story. Oh, whatever. And
I did it, so.
it takes so long, though. Oh, it takes so long.
Did you okay, so what level are you right, just side note, what level are you right now in your horde?
I'm like 7. I'm still in Northrend, so I'm
Okay,
not
so-
quite 80.
So let me just give you a little, like, if you want this to go really fast, this is the time to do it. And since the horde keep dominating AV, go ahead and queue up for Korok's, the Korok's Revenge in Altark Valley, the PvP menu, the very, very bottom, and you're going to get a mount out of it anyway. You will go from 70 to 120. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. Within probably 3 days, it'll take you.
Wow.
So you will get a lot of XP doing that. And The Horde always get Korok, so you can get that done and over with. And you'll get your Wolf mount, which also translates over to the Alliance side where you get your Ram. And yeah, so you'll get your Ram mount, your Wolf mount, and you'll get all that questing done up to 120. And then the other way to do it is, of course, to just use the boost that you get if you pre-purchased Shadowlands. So, but yeah, just keep that in mind. Anyway.
And to that end, there's an article on Wowhead right now that gives a pretty detailed series of instructions as to how to maximize your gains right now to be able to go into AV and just level. It's like you're getting a couple of levels per AV run.
Yeah, I
crazy.
I went in there at 90 and I was getting about 3 levels up to about 100, and then you were getting like 2.5 levels, and then it was almost every AV you were getting a level at 110, maybe a level and a half at 110, and then if you win, you get a lot more. You know, you're getting XP constantly while you're in there, and it was just like you'd be questing, and it's just like ding, and then you're questing some more. It's like, oh my god, the XP just came in really quick. But I need to check that out because I'm also trying to maximize my reputation gain at this point in time. I'm trying to unlock the Zandalari and the Voldenai because I want the shit unlocked. Not that I'm gonna play it. I just don't like that I own a game and shit's gated. So I want to get it unlocked just so I have it unlocked. You know. Then you have it.
Yes.
You get it. Then you have it.
That's exactly why I'm leveling Horde.
So level squish is definitely high, I think, on all of our lists. And as somebody who is an out and proud altaholic, you are certainly an expert on this. So what else? What else was high on your list of Shadowlands announcements?
I'm excited to become a little vampire person and follow the vampire people around.
Oh.
I love that gothic kind of look that they have.
Don't say it, Nav. Witcher 3, there, I said it.
Yeah.
So you've already chosen your covenant.
I've already chosen it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Even if it's not like spec, best in slot spec related.
Oh my gosh, I never do that anyways. I mean, what's the point? I just don't do that. I don't min max.
All right then.
Don't let the rest of the raid team hear this. I'm supposed to be the only bad one.
I know, Slick will be so sad, but no.
Well, you bring up an interesting point, though, is that even just based on aesthetic alone, people are making choices about this because it'll be interesting to see how that experiment plays out in real time, but it has generated interest. And the fact that you've already chosen one, I'm pretty sure I've already chosen one, and we haven't seen anything. And we're like, yes, this just feels good.
Right.
Yeah, to me, that's always a good sign.
And I'm super excited to see what characters come back. I'm really excited to see who we run into.
Who's on your wish list?
You know, the normals, the ones that you expect to see. I mean, I expect that we're gonna run into Varian, and we need to. Want to.
We need closure. We didn't get closure. There was no closure there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's clearly that's a name that's high on the list around here.
Right. Yes. So I expect that we'll see Varian, and I expect that we'll see Arthas. I don't know. We'll see.
There any wild cards of maybe lesser characters, somebody that's not a big name, somebody like, oh, I really wish that, because I think I've said in the past like a Kindy Sparkshine or one of these other sort of random characters. You're like, oh, I remember that person from long ago, and then
I don't know. You know, the people that I mean, I don't remember a lot of the names, so I can't really say it, but
that's okay.
I always wonder what happened to Inigo Montoya. Do you know where he is? He was in Eastern Flagland in the Chapel of Light's Hope, and so Princess Bride is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And so he's named after him, and then when they did when they added the
Like the class hall?
the class halls, he disappeared,
Oh.
and I don't know where he is. Maybe he's there.
Oh.
Every time,
I don't know.
every time somebody mentions The Princess Bride, I have a piece of useless trivia that just sits in the back of my head regarding Andre the Giant on the set and how he let out a 16-second fart that brought production to a standstill. And Rob Reiner, who was the director, said, "Are you okay, Andre?" And he said, "I am now, boss." That's every time somebody mentions that, I have that stuck in my head. Like,
That's great.
Only the Unshackled Fury podcast can bring you this kind of quality family entertainment. Welcome. Well, before I hand it off to Nav, any other things that you're excited about so far that's been announced about Shadowlands?
I'm just excited for the whole thing. I love the whole thing. I can't think of anything that I was like, maybe not. I'm interested to see when we get flying, and I know somebody asked that during the Q&A, or I think Tally asked that during the Q&A, but and they said they were still working on that. I'm kind of curious about that.
I think actually Ian said that he's happy with the way Pathfinder is, and I think that is going to be it going forward. I think they're happy and pleased with Pathfinder and keeping it the way it is.
There's that, but like when you're leveling a character, currently we get flying at what level? I think I got flying
60,
at level 58.
Right? Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's supposed to be 60, but I think I got it at 58. What do we do now, like with our alts?
I still think it's that needs to be answered, but I still think it's going to be the same way with Pathfinder. I think people are going to have to unlock Pathfinder like for WoD. Like for WoD, when you unlock Pathfinder, all your alts get it. It was from WoD going forward. Every time you unlock Pathfinder, your alts just got it. So so I think that
might be interesting. Yeah. So in each expansion, you'll have to do the Pathfinder for that expansion.
Yeah. And that gives, and that still provides the hey, the accomplishment of, hey, I worked towards that, I got it, I can fly in it, and people will seek that out because there are going to be those people that thought WoD was amazing and they'll want to level alts and they'll be like, well, I just want to level up in WoD, but I want flying, so I'll go work on it.
Yeah.
So it provides a path for them to do that.
Yeah, I'm one of those few people that thought Cataclysm was pretty cool, so...
well, that is a small list.
I was going to say, because Cataclysm started out real strong, and I was right on board. I'm like, oh, they hit you with that night song right out of the gate, and then it just fizzled after that. It was like, what the heck happened to Cataclysm with all that?
I guess I love water levels. And,
boy.
Right?
You know what? I'm on board. I'm with you on that one. I absolutely loved that. I forget what it was called, but yes, because I was big into scuba diving at the time.
Bashir?
And I loved, yes.
Bashir.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, boy.
I love that place.
Look,
Yeah.
You two can have it. Well, now, for you, Nav, we've talked about before your love of soundtracks, because we got a soundtrack that's coming.
Yes, we
We've
do.
got changes to the leveling. We've got potentially legendary transmog going on. A few of those other items that I know that you've talked about were kind of high on your list before, but having had a little bit more time to think about it, is there anything else that jumps to the top of the list for you, or what is at the top of your list as far as all of the Shadowlands announces that happened?
Oh man, like I said, honest to God, like I said on the Restart Cast episode, I'm a very simple person with simple needs in the game, and the fact that I can transmog legendary items now is enough for me. Like they could have just put some boring ass expansion out and said, okay, well you can transmog your Thunder Fury, and I would just play the hell out of it. So it's like, I'm good with that. But besides that, though, we mentioned the level squish. The catch-up mechanic for Anima, they're going to make it so that, it's more... it's going to be more player-friendly. It's going to be people who want to do other things besides play WoW nonstop. So, they said, they're going to make that catch-up mechanic so that you can do other things, and then you can come back and catch up rather quickly, which is nice, because nobody wants to be like, well, guys, real life got in the way. I got to go take care of some stuff, and then come back and be like, well, I'm so far behind, I can't really do anything now. So I'll see what happens next. But the catch-up mechanic's a good idea. I can't wait to see that. Other than that, I think we covered a lot of this stuff, like, how Bolvar is going to play a major role in the narrative, and that's going to be really fun to pal around with him for a little bit and see what he's been up to. And
oh my gosh, when I watched that cinematic, I thought of you, Berzerker. I did. I was watching it and I was like, she picks up that helm and sticks it in front of her head, and I was like, oh, he's gonna get his wish.
We were very close to something happening there. I mean, they got us. They got us all so good. I mean, it's the brilliance, I think, in many respects of their storytelling, is they know who we are. They know what we're thinking, because we put this shit out on the forums, and they're like, we know exactly what they want, and we know exactly how to screw with them. So, that framing was very intentional.
I was like, she's gonna put it on. She's gonna put it. Oh.
And then I was sad. I was like, oh, she's ripping it in half. No. Yeah. Big swing of emotion there. Very high to very low to very high again. It was quite a wild swing. But anything else from you, Mr. Navo?
No. I think we got all of them at this point. The level, like, honestly, the level squish for me is going to be a big one too, because I'm an altaholic, so I love all these alts. So,
and it's daunting when you start a new character. And you're like,
it really is. It really is. Yeah.
And that's the exact reason I am not an altaholic, is because I look at that and I go, I don't have time for this. There is just no way. To be fair, I have like 100. Well, now they're both 110 boosts. I have 2 110 boosts just sitting on my account that I haven't used, because I'm like, I don't really want to go the next 10 levels. Like,
oh my god,
I am super terrible and lazy about it. And I was joking about this with my buddy Rommel a couple times. I was saying, you know what? I think this is gonna get me to level an alt. He's like, you're not leveling an alt. And I'm like, yeah, I think this might actually do it. He's like, you're never gonna do it. I'm like, I think this might be the
healer.
One.
Oh my gosh.
But I will say is that this whole project does really seem to be about getting more people to max level quicker, to experience more of the content that they're working on now. And that is, to all of your points, I think the most exciting part of what we've seen so far is that is a revolutionary change in the game. That's not just tacking on another 10 levels and we're doing a thing. No, we're going to squish it down. We're going to figure out a way to get more people in. And it's going to be tied into the recruiter friend and all this other stuff. And that to me is, okay, it's catered more towards the casual side of things, but that works, I think, for a lot of us who have other things to do, but still want to enjoy the rich vibrancy and storytelling of this game that still exists without having to feel left out.
And it honestly, in the long run, if you think about it from the dev perspective, it's probably harder to go into game design, nerfing all of that previous content down to a point where, you're taking this entire database and you're shrinking all of that information and the numbers back down to where it's half of what we're doing right now. So I know it might seem like, well, they're just dividing by 2, and it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And they're making it so that anybody can go to any expansion, and just after 10, go to any expansion and level up. That's pretty amazing. It is pretty amazing.
And there's even a new starting zone, like that 1 through 10 is going to be a whole new experience in itself.
it's just a culmination of what we've been experiencing since Legion with the God, the name escapes me at the moment, but it's the fact that the levels of the zones don't change. The mob, God help me out.
Scaling?
Yeah.
What is it?
Scaling?
It's like, yeah, the flexible scaling.
The
or
flex.
I don't know
Thank
what it's
you.
called.
No, you said the scaling. That's it. I'm like brain dead at the moment. It's the fact that the zones are scaling with the player base. So it's amazing that they can do this technology and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that, so.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
So leveling, I think that's obviously a big one. You know, for me, lore, story, that's where my jam is at. So yeah, hopefully Varian shows up, Arthas shows up. We know we're gonna see Uther. Maybe Tyrion shows up somewhere. Because what a conversation between Tyrion and Bolvar about, well, I let you wear the hat, and look what happened. I was going to put it on, and you talked me out of it, and now look what you did. I could have been the Lich King with a fucking Ashbringer, but no. You wanted to be the cowboy, and look what happened.
Did you all see the like again useless? Did you all see the movie Stardust where the brothers were all dead?
No.
And they're all having that conversation. I'm like, that's what I imagine is going to happen in game, where you're going to have Varian and Arthas, and Arthas' dad, and like, oh hey, you know, there's going to be that. I want to see that conversation too. Like, I want to see the back and forth because, you know,
I have a feeling we're going to see some very interesting conversations.
Yeah.
They are.
It's going to be kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. They're hinting that and you know, I don't think it's a wild stretch of the imagination that there's going to be some crazy lore stuff happening with characters, and they're hinting at certainly a lot of that. But coming out of BlizzCon, we've seen a lot more interviews that were conducted at the convention being posted online by various outlets. And so I know all of us have kind of taken a look at those because there were little tidbits that were dropped after the fact, because let's be honest, you don't have a lot of time in those panels to tell us a lot. You've got 45-minute
Right.
panels, and you only have a couple, and they're pretty targeted. So coming out of BlizzCon, we've now seen more interviews and more information. So, Copper, did you get a chance to take a look at those? And if you did, were there any additional little tidbits that jumped out to you?
Well, I mean, I know when the last patch, I guess it was, when we got the Horde Alliance icons on the side,
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited to see us be able to faction swap a little bit. Not faction swap, but group with people or friends or whatever. But I see that that's not a thing. And that makes me sad. That does make me sad. Because I do have some Horde friends.
yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
I mean,
Both of
I
you
I
and your
get it.
Horde
I
allies can go to
understand.
Vajir
It's
and go hang out somewhere else, while us true Blue Alliance people who stay on land can enjoy the game.
it's not even that. It's like, you know, because it's the fact that, again, like, I've got this Orc Warrior that looks really, really cool, and I'm like, man, I really like to play that, and, you know, and group up with my friends and stuff like that. But
Yeah. How are we getting rid of the sword?
oh, the Sword and Silphus? That's just gonna stay. That's just gonna stay there. That's old news. We talked about this before. That's old hat. We don't deal
sorry.
with that. Yeah. That's just there. It's part of the environment now.
Well, Nav will give you his whole dissertation on why aren't we focusing on the sword, because, Copper, your question is the most apropos of them all, because nobody has mentioned anything about what's happening to it. I guess we're all just going to live with it. That's a great
Yep.
question.
Yep, we just live with it.
I'm like, here's Azeroth. She's still bleeding out. And we're just going to leave. We're just going to leave the sword there.
Well, you
Yeah,
can't really.
okay.
I mean, because if you pull it out, she'll absolutely bleed out. You know, you can't.
Or we'll just have a new Well of Eternity. Maybe we can do that.
Oh.
There's gonna be a gaping hole there.
There's
if
an
that's
idea.
removed, so it's like it's horrible.
I mean, there has to be
Whoa.
some way of getting rid of that damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, but
causing some
Illidan's
aerodynamic
fighting that
issues,
guy
I'm sure.
for eternity at the moment. So, you know,
Yeah.
no.
You'd think that somebody would be on top of that.
It's, you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna be some stupid storyline with a gnome with some world shrinking device making himself like it's going to be a no. Honest to God, I can see it happening. It's going to be a gnome. He's going to blow himself up. He's like, "Oh, he's pulled out," and that's going to be it. You know, it's going to be.
Say, Frasley, get the fuck out of there. Oh my God. Well, any other little juicy interview tidbits you might have seen out there, Copper?
I've seen a lot of things. Nothing I've had too many questions about, or even that was like, oh, that's really cool.
Did you get to see the voice actors thing?
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Wasn't it? What about the behind the scenes portion when they showed Chris Metzen and
Oh my gosh,
yeah. Anthony
and Chris
Morgado?
Metzen is sort of, you can't. Chris Metzen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Copper's long distance
haven't
boyfriend.
He's like, he's my crush.
It's all right. He's mine too.
No, I loved it. And then like, oh my gosh, now I'm blanking on his name. The guy that did Thrall, the voice.
Oh, Taron Gregory.
The thing. Yeah, holy crap! Where did he pull that out of? I was so impressed.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, and I had met him actually the year we went to BlizzCon and had a whole big conversation with him. I don't remember what about, but we had a conversation. and
That sounds like a BlizzCon I know.
Yeah, it was outside of the Hilton after many drinks. So
That's the perfect time to have that conversation.
I did see something about like old gods possibly going into the Shadowlands, which is I don't know about that.
Yeah, they did. There was a mention in one of the interviews about, well, where do the old gods go when they die?
Yeah, and that's so. That was something that was also brought up that we saw with. They were talking about Sylvanas' deal with Helia, and how it also intertwines with how Odin lost his eye, and you know, if
so he could see into the Shadowlands.
Right, exactly. So are we dealing with something where Sylvanas is on their level now because of? I mean, it's I don't know.
I'm really if I don't see an old god for a while, I'll be happy. I mean, I'm so done with it.
done with the old gods.
I'm done with the tentacles.
Yeah,
I'm really done.
I really am too. I'm over the tentacles.
Well, then let me tell you about patch 8.3 because
right,
they're gonna be everywhere. But how about you, Nav? What from those interviews did you see? Anything in particular that jumped out and you're like, oh shit?
Yeah, the like I said, the origin, the storyline of Odin giving his eye, we're going to get to see that. That's going to that Odin giving his eye to an entity will be developed in Shadowlands. So we'll get to see that, how that plays out. And then like I said, we'll find out the deal with Sylvanas, who made the deal that she made with Helia, and the purpose of the lantern, which the purpose of the lantern may not be exactly what we expected, because we, you know, with that lantern, it was so that she could imprison the Valkyrie or the Valkyr that was able to, you know, maintain her life form, and you know, and the other thing is just the fact that catch-up mechanic that I mentioned earlier. I mean, I'm really happy with the fact that basically the idea for the catch-up mechanic with the anima system is placing returning player or an alt into a catch-up state until you get caught up.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So,
yeah, I think for myself, we've seen, you know, stuff about obviously Tyrande and what's going on with Tyrande. Well, she's going to be out there, and we'll see some stuff. And Sylvanas, what's going on with Sylvanas, and what's happening with the jailer. The jailer's supposed to be the new big bad. What's going on with him? So there's plenty of stuff out there about that. But there was one interview that was done, funny enough, on behalf of Method, and they were talking to two of the developers. And the question was about Anduin's heir and whether or not they've given any thought to who the heir of the Rin family line is, and it kind of caught them off guard as if they haven't really thought about it.
Yeah.
So to me, it seems like Anduin, I know we hear this complaint about Sylvanas, but perhaps Anduin has the ultimate plot armor because they haven't even thought what happens if he dies.
Yeah, I mean, honest to God, there's no plan in place at the moment. I mean, who would take over at that point?
Well,
Not Gan.
I know that one of the long-standing complaints about the Alliance is that when Varian Rin was around, that he was essentially in charge of all of their military, right? That he was the lead.
Yep.
He was the high king of the Alliance, right? And there were plenty of people that hated that. They were like, no, he's not my king. I'm a night elf. I don't answer to him. Or I'm a gnome. He's Bupkis, whatever.
Yeah.
But with Stormwind, at least in that respect, the sort of the human empire, what does happen? Anduin's out there fighting whoever, and if he gets smote, who's next in charge?
I don't know, but
I guess Bolvar's back, but
yeah.
I don't know that he's the best choice right now.
No.
Not
sure about that.
So I thought that was kind of interesting, and I do wonder if down the line there will be something, because we've talked about how Talia for Dragon, because we're playing Bachelorette here, and we're going,
yeah, absolutely.
Who'd make a good match here? Let's put these two on a dial-a-date. But if they're not even thinking about who the heir of the Rin family line is, I don't know that this kind of romance is in our immediate future. And you know what? That's probably fine, because whatever they end up doing, if they end up doing anything, people are going to hate it. There are going to be people that love it, but there are going to be people that hate it.
There was that cutscene though with Anduin and Talia, and it was kind of like they were going back and forth a little bit. It was when it was right after.
This is in Borealis, right?
Yeah, right in Borealis. I believe it was right before Ashvane betrays Catherine, and they come to her rescue. They come to Catherine's rescue, and that's when Jane is forgiven and all that kind of stuff, and they have that back and forth conversation, and it seemed kind of flirtatious between Anduin and Talia at the time. So that's why I was like, oh, look at this.
I think a lot of us have thought that, right? Because we've kind of been looking for that who's that match. But at the same time, I think a lot of them are going to have hell to pay when Talia finds out what happened to her father and that nobody told her. Because that is a huge bomb waiting to go off. And I mean, who knows how they're going to handle it now, but
they can fall back on it. Well, you never really asked about it, so.
Oh, that would be. that would not be a good way to do it. I'll just put that. Well, you didn't ask specifically. Oh boy, you're gonna get your ass whooped now. Oh Lord, but yeah, I thought that was really interesting. But I did on the other end of it, I really did appreciate that they made a point to say that Bolvar is going to play a major part in the narrative of this story and will be our guide in the Shadowlands, as well as explaining kind of what has happened to him and what's been going on all of these years. Because, no secret, I've said this before, other people have said this, if they do another series of cinematics, like what they did with Sarfang, God, I hope they do them with Bolvar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
cool.
somebody pointed it out, his model looks like it's ready for some serious screen time. Like they spent a lot of time. It's like got this burnt runic fiery thing going like that. Oh boy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, because I mean the fact that they already put him in a cinematic means that the assets are there for them to just do more and more and more stuff with him. Yeah. And I mean, the first thing I think about is him charging it looks like he's charging himself up with the mace. It's like that. I love that. I could watch it over and over.
Snuffing out the fire to bring back like the Lich King's power.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat. And again, kind of going back to, because all we have is a roadmap really of the Sarfang ones, but when you look at Bolvar originally, and I've said this before, is that he was already out of his ice block that we left him in at the top of Ice Crown at the end of that raid. So How did he get out? Where did that mace come from? Where did all that armor come from? We didn't see that before. There's also kind of a sizable gap in time during the intro cinematic that we saw that some stuff could take place in there. Like, is he telling himself something? Is he getting those forces psyched up? Is it possible that he let her take the crown?
I don't think so.
Now, I've seen this theory out there. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I have seen a theory out there that is a way of sort of outmaneuvering her. He let himself be beat, which I'm pretty sure he just got straight up beat, in order to find out what her plan was, so he could try to figure it out. Do you think there's any merit to that at all?
No, he got straight up
No.
beat. No, that was.
Well, did you, speaking of Copper and I's long-distance boyfriend, Chris Metzen, did you see his comment about Bolvar versus Arthas?
I didn't.
No, I
What did
didn't.
he say?
I didn't see that.
Somebody on Twitter had asked him about this, and he said, now, I know he don't work there anymore, but as far as I'm concerned, his word is law. Even he had said that Bolvar was not as powerful as Arthas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
okay.
so his view of this is more as a steward than as a soldier, right? As a fighter. So take that for what it's worth, but I'm glad that we're going to be seeing him. So that's my
okay.
point.
So and that goes that actually does make sense because, and I know going down a quick storyline, the dread scar that is made with the in the Blood Elf area, while I was
Where
doing
Arthas like tore it up.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, and what's really cool is if you do the Blood Elf heritage armor, I worked on that last week. It takes you through the entire storyline of that. So it shows him. Yeah, it's a whole story of Arthas going through the creating the Dread Scar and defeating the heroes along the way of Sylvanas and then the Blood Elf guy. I don't know what his name is. The name escapes me, but
Orthamar?
I think so. I think that's it. It's just it shows them fighting each other, and then it's just him just laying waste. So I mean, Arthas was a very powerful character before he even became the Lich King. So
Well, he also had Frostmourne at that time.
yes, he did. Yeah,
And I
he was
think
wielding
that's kind
at
of been
time.
the common denominator is Frostmourne as a source of power was ridiculously OP.
Yeah.
So there are other interviews out there. I encourage people not just to watch the panels that were at BlizzCon, virtual ticket style, but there are plenty of other interviews out there, videos, write-ups. There's a lot. Not to mention the fact, listen, we probably have 10-ish, 11 months until we actually see this expansion. There's going to be a lot more. We still have 8.3 to come. Like this is still, I think, somewhat fluid, but overall, I think things are looking pretty good. I like the way that this expansion seems to be shaping up. Sure, there's still more that needs to be known, and I'm sure they'll figure it out, but overall, I think we're on good footing. And on that note, we just had the third quarter earnings call for Activision Blizzard. I'm not going to get into super deep detail here, but suffice to say, they are still in sort of what they call the rebound mode. As we all remember, early in the year, their stock just took a complete dive. They had to lay people off. It was not a good situation. And they had said at the time, here is what we're doing. Those reasons could be seen as dubious or not, but this is what they had done in an effort, hopefully, to bring the company back to some level of, financial prominence, because for us, it's always been prominent. Well, here's where we are right now. The current shares, and this is as of Sunday, so there's no trading going on today, but as of the moment, their shares are trading at a little over $54 a share, or around $54 a share, which is up. It has steadily been climbing up over the course of the year. Granted, they had a high, I think, near 80 at one point not that long ago, so they're still well below where they've been, but they are steadily growing. And coming out of BlizzCon, we had a lot of announcements, big announcements. Diablo 4, another Warcraft expansion. We had another Hearthstone expansion. We had, What else did we have? We had
Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2. Thank you. That was the other one. Big announcements, which I think to us, we look at that and we go, yes, that's great. They're still working on stuff. There's more things to come. Hooray! Well, the investors kind of see it a little bit different in that, well, they're working on it, but where is it? And that's still kind of the battle that goes on. So the stock price has not quite, just skyrocketed or anything like that. They're still taking a very wait-and-see approach. I think 2020 is still going to be a big year for Blizzard. I've said this before. I continue to say this. They had, according to their own numbers, over 33 million active users in quarter 3 of this year. So there's still a lot of people playing their games, and they're still making billions of dollars. So the company's not going to go anywhere, and they're still building, but it's going to be slow. And hopefully they're going to continue to roll out stuff on a regular basis once all of this work starts paying off. Diablo 4, I don't know about you guys, but I'm thinking probably 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of,
it's a ways out.
It's still a ways out. Yeah. I mean, they announced it, but
they also announced they're going to be giving quarterly updates, if that gives you any indication of how far away this game is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nothing around the corner is getting a quarterly update. Let's just say that. So, yeah. So overall, as far as the financial health of the company goes, it's getting better. There's still some concerns about when things are being released, but I think, as we know, as long as Blizzard is allowed to take their time and is allowed to do the things that they need to do, they're going to put out quality product, and it's going to be just getting over like gangbusters. They'll sell a billion copies of everything. So we'll wait and see. That's kind of your update for now. At the end of the year, I'll probably do a much deeper dive after quarter 4 releases. We can talk about where we are year over year, just kind of get it a full sense of what's happened. But overall, it went down, starting to come up. I think we're going to see that, but we'll wait and see. For us in-game, what have we been doing? We've been celebrating the 15th anniversary of Warcraft. 15th anniversary. Copper, what has been your most exciting moment of the 15th anniversary celebration?
I was super excited about the raids, about going in and doing these boss fights and things like that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it did not live up to my expectations.
No.
I mean, it was great. I'm glad we all got to go in there for a few minutes. And I was really disappointed, though. Honestly, very disappointed over that. I thought it was going to actually be a challenge, but... And I'm excited about the Alterac Valleys and stuff like that. It's unfortunately our raid team is not super excited about it.
It is not really. But as far as back to the raid for just a second, can you describe to people, I guess, because I think you and I are very much on the same page about this, what your expectation was versus what actually happens when you go in there?
So my expectation was that, okay, I get it, we're only going to see these 3 bosses out of this one dungeon or raid or this one expansion, and we go in and we do the whole fight beginning to end. We have to remember all the mechanics. People actually have to heal. There's things to do, there's stuff to remember, and oh my gosh, do you remember that? And not the case at all.
No.
You go in, I mean, other than a couple of fights where it's like, oh yeah, I remember that now. Like Hagen.
The safety dance.
Yeah, like the safety dance. Oh yeah, that's right.
I died.
It's 2 steps to the left. It's just, you go in and it's like 5 minutes of a fight that, I mean, if that.
Yeah.
And then they pull you out. It's like, congratulations, wasn't that fun? So disappointed.
Was it a little too participation trophy esque for you?
Yeah, it totally was. I'm gonna get. I was super excited too because we get the Deathwing mount, and I'm like, oh, we get the Deathwing.
Yeah,
that's super cool, and I want to work for that. there was no work at all. You just show up.
I think we wiped once or twice on the safety dance and once on a defile on the Lich King. And I think that was about it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. We wiped once on Heigen. Well, I think we wiped on Anubarak. No, wait. Yeah, that's the right one. So we wiped on Heigen first.
Yeah.
We went back in, did the second, I can't remember, and then we wiped on Anubarak and had to go back through and do them all over again. But, I mean...
But it did not take long.
It didn't take long. I mean, our raid times right now, because of sort of being in between things, is 2 hours, and we had plenty of time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
That's true.
So...
How about you, Nev?
Yeah, besides Ragnaros being broken, it was kind of fun. I kind of felt that raid... I was in the same boat. I kept thinking, I thought the raid experience was going to be a lot more in depth. I was highly disappointed when we got to Lady Vash, and it was just the DPS
that's right,
race.
that fight.
It was like I was like, oh, good. I've still got that. The core. I've still got my core macro. I've still got that. Oh, I'm gonna use this thing. Nope. It was just go in there and DPS. Did manage to get the Deathwing mount, which is a really cool mount. I have it on my Death Knight.
It is cool.
Other than that, I've been enjoying the hell out of AV. I've taken a couple of my alts through 120. Just doing AV, and I finally unlocked the mount today. If you're still working on that mount, or if you're unsure about how the mount works, just if you look at the PvP, if you click on the PvP section and you queue for Korak, if you highlight your mouse over the little icon, it'll show you your progression on that mount that you're working on, and you unlock it for both Horde and Alliance. And if you want to do Korak and you have a Horde tune, swap over to do that, because the Horde just have a quicker route to Korak and they usually get them dead. But other than that, I mean, I'm enjoying the heck out of the experience and the rep gain boost right now. I like it, and we have it till February. I think this is very long.
It's January,
right? Oh, is it January? Okay,
January,
so
yeah.
And right now, which is really awesome, is my raid team's on a break. So that's we're on a break till the new raid comes out, and so I'm gonna be leveling up all these alts. And right now our battleground is up, and or not our battle, our Stormguard or Stromguard. The battle Stromguard is up, so we're gonna try to work on that and see if I can't get a helm out of the deals. Finish up my elite plate set.
Still working on it.
Put it on my Coltirian, which looks really awesome in that set. I love that. I love it. And what's also, side note with the Coltirian, I didn't realize, like, once you got to 110, like once you level from 1 to 110, to get the heritage armor for your Coltirian is just go talk to Catherine Proudmore. Like, you go talk to her and she's like, here you go, boom, there you go, done. You don't have to do anything. Side quests. So it's once you hit 110, just go talk to her. She gives you your stuff, and then you can look like a pirate.
So
But
you did all the work to get to 110, so that's probably all right.
Yeah. I actually was in MOP at level 90, and this dropped, and I was like, crap, I'm just gonna hit AV, and I just power. I mean, the levels go so quick. So no, people aren't. I mean, people on Twitter are like, wow, it's quick. No, it really is quick. It doesn't. Don't get bent out of shape if you win or you lose. It's like for Alliance to win AV, we have to skip Korok, and you have to cap Iceblood Graveyard and the towers. I mean, if you can coordinate that with the Alliance group, chances are you're going to win. Like, if you have a good group that's working together, just if you want to go in there and win, coordinate it ahead of time when you're sitting at the gate going, hey guys, listen, skip Snowfall Graveyard, go hit Iceblood, Graveyard and towers and stuff like that, and you'll have a better chance at winning, and especially if you play a Prot Warrior, spec in a Dragon Charge, because you are going to have a hell of a lot of fun with that, especially if you're turtling, because you can just annoy the hell out of the Horde by charging over the bridge and knocking them all off the bridge, which is awesome. But I'm having a lot of fun with this anniversary event.
Nice. Well, good. Yeah, I I think my experience matches Copper's exactly, because it was the exact same experience, which was that, we went in there and I was expecting full-on fights, and we were doing about 20% on each, and I think it was a little bit of a letdown. It's interesting to see those fights in a way that makes them meaningful in terms of your power level, right? So there's some consequence to it. But yeah, it was not exactly what I had thought. As much as I do love my Obsidian Worldbreaker mount, I agree with you, Copper. It was a little bit of a letdown. I'd have to say. But be that as it may, the anniversary is on right now. I think it's going through the first week of January. The prevailing opinion seems to be we'll get 8.3 mid-January, probably that next week or the week after, and we'll be off and running, and we'll be in Nyalotha, and we'll be beating on old gods, and we'll be tired of tentacles, even beyond where we are now. It's, we went from Fel, and now we're in tentacles, and then we'll be, I don't know, shadowy death stuff, and we'll be like, oh, I want to go back to the light.
It'll be all purpley. It'll be beautiful.
It does look pretty amazing, I will say. So before we go today, I wanted to take an opportunity that I feel I'd be remiss not to take, given the fact that we have Copper with us today. And we live in an interesting time where there's really been an enhanced focus on gender equality, on transparency, and on trying to find a better balance, not just in our community, but more globally in terms of the power dynamics between all sexes and all gender identities. So, since we have Copper here, I thought I would lean on her experience, shall we say, to kind of help educate us and to help educate any of our listeners who are interested in such a thing, to kind of get an idea of what the environment can be like out there and what we can do to help facilitate a more supportive environment to help bring this community together in a more cohesive way, shall we say. And Copper, I know that you and I have spoken offline a couple of times about some of the things that you've experienced, but as somebody who has played the game as long as you have, can you give our listeners kind of a rundown of some of the things that you have experienced in games simply because of who you are and sort of what the fallout has been from those experiences?
Sure. So, years ago, I don't group with groups anymore because of this. But I would get into a group with people, and we'd get on voice chat. And as soon as you started talking, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you're a girl," and they'd start being lewd and crude. Or you'd get on voice chat and you wouldn't say anything because you didn't want that kind of attention, and people would, the bunch of guys just telling jokes or being disgusting, as some guys are.
Yeah.
And so at this point, I only group with people I know. I absolutely, possibly I'll get into a group with some people from CTR since we do have a big guild, but I won't ever go outside our guild. I don't get into pre-made groups if they expect us to be on voice.
Okay.
I don't do that. Because it's just like that. I mean, and it goes from that. That's kind of the most, I don't know. That's the worst case scenario, is when things like that happen and people are like, "Oh, you're a girl. What are you wearing? What are you doing?"
My God.
To the other side of it is like you're in trade and you're like, "Hey, I'm selling this," and people are like, "Dude, thanks." It's like, how do you know? I'm not a dude, but you can't say I'm not a dude because
just opens up a whole other can of worms.
Right.
Yeah, so it's I mean, all the way from like just simple pronouns to crap in voice chats, and Yeah. At one point, I had the girl rating team, which I did because of that. I mean, I joined it. It was actually another person's team, and then she left, and I kept managing it.
I remember this one.
Kept the Battle Babes. Yep.
Yep.
And then we got a whole bunch of crap because we're a girl team, and guys were like, "Whoa, why aren't you letting guys in here?" Blah 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 blah. You know, and I had to write a whole.
You got a lot of shit for that? For real?
Yes, for real.
And this is why we're having this conversation.
Wow,
today.
because I actually remember coming in. I believe I subbed one night in because I was talking to Blue at the time, and they were having trouble with something, and I said, "Hey, do you need some help?" And I subbed in for something. I didn't realize guys actually gave you shit for having a full all-female. Yeah, I really didn't. Yeah, wow. Especially.
I mean, the guys that gave us shit weren't on the team, or didn't come in. Our honorary women that we called them our honorary women. They didn't. I mean, obviously they didn't. But I got messages, whispers from people like, "Well, why are there only women? Like, don't you think that's a little sexist?
Oh
like,
my God.
Like, are you an idiot?"
And I think that's part of the discussion, which I think gets difficult for people, maybe with a certain mindset, is trying to understand how that's not what they're making it out to be, where you have, let's say, a group that's underrepresented or is under threat of some type, trying to put together a space for them or a team to create safety or to create boundary to have a safe, fun place to be. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but to try to create that space because it doesn't exist anywhere else.
Right.
Like, Nav and I can go on just about any team and we're not going to get assaulted for being dudes and being in a place. Whereas, as you've described, it's the complete opposite, but we don't have a problem finding that space. You guys have to go out and actively make one for yourselves.
Right. Absolutely. And it's tough. And then of course finding enough women that you would think that there'd just be tons of women that wanted to be on the team. And back when the team was there, it wasn't this kind of flexible thing that we've got going on now, which makes life so much easier. We had to go out and, hey, we're looking for a woman tank. We're looking for, and that just caused more crap. So
I actually, funny story. Not actually. Actually, there's nothing funny about it. I have a friend who's been playing World of Warcraft, who came over from playing EverQuest, who had such a bad experience in EverQuest that all of her toons are male characters, and she doesn't speak in voice or anything like that, but all of her toons are male characters because of what she had put up with in EverQuest and coming over to World of Warcraft. It's like,
and I think that's so funny too, because in World of Warcraft, like, I have had other players message me, even when I'm not in voice chat or anything, making lewd comments to my character. And I'm like, don't most guys play female? A lot of guys play female characters.
Absolutely, they do.
How the hell do you know who you're talking to?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
That's a very good point.
I don't know if other guys have had that. I would expect that some guys have gotten these lewd comments about, I don't know.
Well, and I guess tangentially to that, we, I think, have seen a shift, and I can really only speak to Blizzard because this is a Warcraft podcast and this is the community that we're in, is I feel that I have seen a shift towards trying to find opportunities for better representation outside of where we've been. And I know that kind of what brought this to mind for me was people complaining about Sylvanas getting all this screen time. Oh, it's just Blizzard being run by, whoever, and they're just trying to make everything, a woman beat a man, and that's not supposed, and all that kind of crazy stuff. So as somebody who has been around, has played these games, and has seen the ebb and flow, do you feel that there has been a shift in representation in the games that we are playing, or or not, or do you think that there is, that there just isn't enough?
I feel like there is, and maybe there isn't enough. You know, our strong female character right now is, I mean, I guess we have Talia, and I really like her.
And Jaina, I guess.
Yep.
And we have Jaina. I guess we have Jaina.
Tyrande.
And we do have Tyrande.
But how many of those
But
women
then
are
our-
like angry and just like borderline schizo?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
I mean,
because that's what I look at when I see it. But again, I think and this is part of why I want to have this discussion, is because Nav and I, as the two men on this show right now, we don't have your perspective, right? Like, I look
Right,
at it from the
yeah.
perspective of a man. So for you, and that's why I should probably just shut up right now, is for you, when you look at these things, what does that look like to you?
I mean, I guess I haven't gone at it and looked at it from that. I'm not a super. I come at it from a more personal approach. Like, I know that when I'm in these situations, it's uncomfortable, but I just look at the story as a story. So I don't necessarily. I haven't gone out and looked at it like, oh well, we have another really strong female character. I'm glad that we do, and now that you pointed out, they are all a little crazy, and now I'm a little sad. Thanks. But I don't know. I just like the story, and I don't necessarily think bad of Blizzard because there's not more strong females in their story or whatever. I think there's a fine amount. I really do like Talia. I really hope she plays a bigger role somewhere.
Yeah.
I really like Jaina. I hope she continues on and does something cool.
We'll certainly see. I hope that we get the Talia Bolvar cinematic that we're all hoping
I
for.
am excited.
Yeah.
I do want to see what she does with that.
That would be pretty amazing. Well,
Yeah.
I guess the last thought for me would then be is asking you, as somebody who has had to live through these experiences and somebody who has to still deal with this in game, do you have advice or suggestions for people like myself and like Nav and our listeners of things that we can be more mindful of, things that we can do better to be more supportive of the women in our community and people of other gender identity?
Well, I mean, number one thing you guys are good guys, and I wouldn't expect you guys to be assholes on boys. So, the most important thing I think anybody can do is just to watch how you're talking to people, because you don't know who's on the other side of the other side of the microphone or on the other side of the keyboard. So when you're dealing with somebody in trade, just say, "Hey, thanks." You don't have to say, "Hey, thanks, dude." You know, there's no reason for it. And just, if you see somebody being an asshole in some group, calling them out. I think it's important to. I mean, like I said, I haven't been in a group for a while now that required me to be with people that I didn't know. So I don't know how it is right now, but I would assume that it's the same as it's always been. So if you're in those groups and you hear somebody being a jerk, call it out and try to make a safer place for anybody to be able to play.
There you go. There you go. Now
Wisdom. There you go.
I think that's about it. Yeah. Create a welcoming environment for everybody.
Right. I mean, treat people the way you want to be treated, right? I mean, that's just sort of the golden rule.
The golden rule.
There's reason. Reason it's the golden rule.
Well, that's great insight, and we really appreciate you sharing some of those personal stories with us. And it's not always easy to have to relive that kind of stuff, but we really appreciate that, and thank you for sharing with us, because I think these are great opportunities to have dialogue, and anytime that we can get just one more person out there that kind of looks at things through a different lens because of having a little bit more understanding into something that's not their own, I think that's how we build a stronger community. So thank you very much, Copper, for sharing that. And as far as this episode goes, I think this will do it. I think we've pretty much said it all at this point. So I want to thank our guest, Copperbolt, for coming on this week. And before we go, tell the people where they can find you on the internet if you remember your Twitter.
It's SS_Copper.
Bang. There it is. And other than this fine program, where can the good people find you on the internet, Navox?
You can find me out on Twitter and Twitch. I am at NAV_OX.
As for me, you can always find me on Twitter at Berzerker Rage and this show at Unshackled_Fury. Feel free to contact the show with your questions, comments, or otherwise at unshackledfuryshow@gmail.com. And you can find this show on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Google Play. And if you just happen to, leave a comment, you like the show, throw down a good review, please do so. Word of mouth is really the only kind of press we get. So whatever you can do, it's always appreciated. So once again, thank you for listening. Remember to keep your swords wet and your banners high, and we'll see you next time. Farewell.